Hi, I'm Tatiana Diaz here at Spectrum Theater. I'm here with the cast of the Pulitzer Prize-winning play The Flick by Annie Baker. The show will run from May 17th through the 20th and also from the 24th through the 26th. Hi, so I'm here with Sydney Dornbos. Sydney, you play Rose in The Flick by Annie Baker. And so just wondering, can you go over just a little bit about your character?
Yeah, sure. So she is a 24-year-old who's been working at the movie theater for a couple years, and she's just graduated college and in debt, as everybody is when they get out of college. And so just like it's a lot of her story is asking the questions that every college student is asking when they realize they have $20,000 in student loans and they're working a minimum wage job and they think, what in the world am I doing here? So definitely that's her character in a nutshell, is the typical 24-year-old that you see.
Sure,
so, yeah.
sure. And what did you have to do to prepare for this role?
Well, I worked at a movie theater for 3.5 years, so I had that part down. But otherwise, my process is pretty much the same always. I obviously read the script, and I've loved this script. I saw it in Chicago a couple years ago, and I fell in love with it instantly. So I always like seeing a production of it somewhere. And then my process is just to do character analysis and break down the scenes piece by piece, making sure that I know when I'm not speaking, what am I thinking, what am I feeling? And because you can't just, like make a scowl if you're angry. You have to know why you're angry. Otherwise, it's just going to read like you're a child being angry at your mom and you're just scowling because that's the only thing you've ever seen. So, yeah.
And now, can you tell us a little bit about the play?
Oh yeah, the way I describe it perfectly is it's like Clerks was in a movie theater. So if you've ever seen the movie Clerks, just people living their lives, being vulgar but being themselves, it's that in a movie theater. It's just about deadbeat people just living their life, but they're interesting deadbeats. It's not like just boring people.
Right.
Avery, Sam, and Rose all work at the Flick, and the other two, Sam and Rose, they work there because they have to make ends meet, but Avery does it because he wants to. He loves movies. He's pretty much like, I like Avery and this character I'm going to say, I like to connect things to other movies or TV shows. So he's like Abed from Community, a kid who pop culture references all day, loves movies, will quote everything. Avery's like that, but shyer. Like, if you name a movie, he can name you all the top actors in it, how many awards it was nominated for, how many awards it won. So that's the really cool thing about him and the show is the fact that one kid really wants to be there, the other two don't, but the two that don't are always there. Like they work there full time. They pretend like they like doing what they're doing, but in reality, you can tell they want to be somewhere else. But this kid, who's a part-timer, who's just there because he's in between school, wants to be there 100%. So it's interesting to see that dynamic.
Right. Now, have you ever worked in a movie theater? Do you know, just kind of like the ins and
No,
outs?
I've had friends that worked in a movie theater, but I never worked in one. I've worked in theaters before,
Okay.
but that's a different experience. They're not bringing in popcorn and soda and the things that a movie theater would have to deal with. So no, but I can definitely sympathize with it for sure.
So now when you go to when you go out to watch movies, do you, after playing Sam, do you just kind of like view it a little bit differently?
Yeah, it's so funny. We all went out as a cast and we went to go see A Quiet Place.
Okay.
Which great movie, by the way. If you have the chance to see it, absolutely see it.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Okay, good. But after the movie was done, we waited to have someone come in and kind of do, just observe them. Obviously, we told them, we're like, hey, is it cool if we watch you just kind of do your thing? Which was so fun because the guy who was cleaning, his name was Sam. So I was like, oh, this is too real. So then kind of seeing his technique and going up and down the aisles, you pick up on stuff really, really quickly. So, yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. So when you worked, you said that you worked at a movie theater.
I did.
You said for about 3 years.
Yep.
And so how does that relate to the play and what you're doing and what you've done?
So it's interesting because I was able to offer a lot of strange insight for things that I think our cast or sometimes our crew didn't necessarily not have a grasp on, but there's just certain things like how do you hold a broom and scoop? Like are there different ways that you can bring the trash from the seats to the trash can? And like things that are so innate in my body now that like are muscle memory are things that I was like, oh, I could like show people how to do this, or I could teach. So that was kind of fun. And
Nice.
yeah, and I think definitely everybody who works at a movie theater who's, you know, over at the age of 25 and starting for the first time usually has a story of something that they say like, I got divorced, or I, you know, decided that I wanted to be here because I didn't want to be working as a nurse anymore. Like, you know, so it's always a story. So definitely cool to see my experience there transfer over into the show, because these people are real people that could definitely be working at this minimum wage movie theater.
Yeah. So you were definitely an asset to the production, of course.
Yeah, yep. I hope so.
Well, I mean like having that knowledge of that.
Yeah.
Now, when while preparing for the show, which starts tomorrow, has anything interesting, anything fun happened to the cast?
Oh
while you've
God,
been preparing?
we have so many. Well, like I said, I was really nerdy as a child, and in one scene, Rose brings out a yo-yo. And she's like, look what I unearthed from my closet. And then Avery asks to borrow it, and he does like a really cool trick with it. And during rehearsals, like, she was yo-yoing it, and I picked it up, and I used to semi-professionally yo-yo. So I was like doing a move, and they're like, oh, wow, you already know. I was like, oh, yeah, guys, like, I was sleeping it. And they're like, what's sleeping the yo-yo? I was like, guys, this is the basic term for yo-yoing.
Oh,
you
man.
put it to sleep, you walk the dog.
That's
There's
the
just
one
like-
where it just like walks, right? Or
yeah, you just walk it along. But sleeping is when it's just spinning and then you pop it back up. That's sleeping. I thought it was simple as that, but clearly.
Well, you're a pro.
Well, yeah, semi-professional, call it friends. But yeah, so I was just like, guys, come on, everyone knows this. And no one knew it. And then the running gag of just like, I would say something, they'd be like, douche. It's just, because I knew better, I knew more. It was just, I don't know. It was that, and we have an ending ritual whenever we finish the run of the show. We just all just go, nice, 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 nice. And we dance around, and it just becomes a real lot of fun.
That's great. So what are you hoping that they kind of take away from the flick after they leave?
I'm not like any like metaphysical like lesson. I'm not into moral lessons or anything. I think theater should just be enjoyed for being theater. But I would hope that they take away a way to watch plays now, because I think a lot of people watch plays and they get bored because there aren't any flashy musical numbers. And so I hope that they learn from this that they can enjoy straight plays. It doesn't have to be flashy. It can be something as simple as three people sweeping up a movie theater, and it's the most relatable human experience that you've watched.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And hopefully they'll learn patience, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, with 3 hours and only one intermission, you would hope they learn patience. So, and there's free popcorn, so I hope that moves them along, fuels them through.
Gets a little incentive.
Exactly. Yeah, to come back for sure.
Well, now, did you have to do anything special to prepare for
For Avery?
for Avery? Yeah.
Be born. That was pretty much the main thing that for me had to happen. I also had to look a
For the
lot.
other actors too. Right?
Probably birth is the first step. But for me, it's like, it was just, I first picked up the script in college, and it saying to me, like, someone was like, no, you need to read this. I was like, all right, cool. I like flipped through the first couple pages. I was like, oh, Avery's a really interesting character. And I kept reading. I was like, Avery is me. That's cool, Avery. But I've learned one thing that Avery doesn't until the end of the show. So when you see the show, you'll be able to say, his childlike wonder, and this is something I envy from him, his childlike wonder is intact for so long until something very bad happens. And that was something that I had to remember. And I'm not saying like, oh my God, I can't have an imaginary friend anymore. No, I still can imagine and have childlike wonder, but the way he looks at the movie screen, I had to really just think about like something that I would marvel at and take that all in. And whenever he talks about movies, that grin he gets on his face, or whenever he's in his element, it was just something that I never noticed about myself, but then people were like, oh no, you do it. But then I had to look at it. I couldn't just be like, oh yeah, I can act like I'm interested. But to truly be interested in it, and that's what I really wanted to do for Avery, is to truly become Avery, truly do it as Avery would do it, as an actor should. Yeah, getting that wonder back, especially doing it night after night after night, being able to each night still be wondered by the screen, still be happy when I talk about these movies that I've seen thousands of times. And I just correlated movies with comic books, and for me, it became simple.
That's wonderful. So it looks like you learned something from.
I learned a
Avery.
lot
That's
from
great.
Avery.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for meeting with us today. I wish you the best of luck
you.
on the upcoming shows. Thank you.
Thank you.